Hi everyone. Today we will discuss about the important topics and rest of the things for strategic management and corporate finance, paper 5. A disclaimer, this is just my understanding of previous attempts and the last two attempts question paper of new syllabus. So you have to complete your entire syllabus. Another disclaimer, I'm gonna uh, break some myths regarding this subject, so be prepared for that. Last thing is, please bring a pen and paper with you so you can note it down everything that I'm gonna say, because I'm gonna talk about important practical topics, not even chapters, topics. Also, I am going to talk about each and every chapter of corporate finance, how to deal it, what to do it in, and how to prepare for it. So it would be better if you noted down everything, because I'll just verbally communicate it to you. Okay. So, first of all, we'll talk about strategic management, which will be a very precise briefing. So, strategic management, let's first see that what the pattern of institute was. So, first attempt, they asked 25 marks from basically chapter 1 and third were the major targets, and rest of the okay, chapter 6 also they asked for 10 marks, right? So three chapters covered the major portions, and rest three chapters has less marks weightage. Okay, now coming to your December attempt, it was a proper blend except chapter 2 and 6. Okay, so overall we can figure it out that every chapter would be equally important, but chapter 2 they have asked less, because I think there's not much to ask, too easy of a chapter. Okay, few things that I would like to tell you about strategic management is, in every subject you guys have case studies, right? For in previous attempt I did told student to do case study, but while evaluating December 24 paper, I realized that no, there's no need to do case study. They would be able to handle it immediately in exam environment itself, so it's not required. Okay, so skip case study regarding strategic management. Second, all chapters are important, which I have already shared with you. Third, exam pattern, which I was already speaking about, is exam pattern. If I see first attempt, it was basically purely like direct questions, and you actually need to study properly from the mat. But the second attempt gave me an understanding of the paper or the environment, which I was actually expecting in June, but it happened in December. So what they did is, in December they asked you vision missions of a particular case study, not the ratified things from the book. Definitely you need to uh, take the understanding from there, but you have to express the vision mission of the from the case. Okay, so you need to understand the case, you need to understand. Also, there was one question regarding focus strategy, where you need to interpret what strategy they are using. So just learning strategic management would not help. That December 24 cleared, okay, which I was informing my students from June itself, ki strategic management, if you want to study in a way that you are doing things in a dynamic environment, you are not doing ratification. Okay, so again, this time I'm expecting the paper would be similar to June, like direct questions, but still you should know what the concept is, how to put it in a case environment. Like if it is happening in reality, what would you do, or what would be the strategy would best strategy would be in that environment. To understand the best strategy, you need to know the strategies. Okay, so you should develop a good understanding. What you can do in this paper is, I think watching 4 to 5 times a marathon would be enough. Okay, listening to the marathons consciously. Okay, so that will clear your concept, will create a visual and audio visual memory. Okay, the second thing that you need to do is, you need to every day half an hour you need to give to this subject. Okay, in that half an hour you're going to do writing practice. Why? Because if you write gibberish answers for these easy things, you would not score marks. Okay, so what you need to understand is, just a second, see, the answers here are in pointers, right? Like if I talk about this one, key roles. Okay, so this is advisory, this is communication with stakeholders. If you don't write this subheading exactly, and if you don't highlight this subheadings, once you have written the heading subheadings, you should underline these things. Okay, these are not there in the answers of students which I have checked. Okay, so these things, if you do, let's see, benefits of strategic planning. People are writing in whatever like they feel. No, it will not help. You have to write the subheading. So spend that half an hour every day in writing 4 to 5 questions, in not the entire thing, just the subheadings. 4 to 5 questions you can actually write in 10 minutes. If I say you can practice an entire chapter in 30 minutes if you practice just the subheadings, and this will be enough. Okay, I talked about the myth buster, right? That I will talk about myth buster. The myth buster is, people think, okay, chalo 40 marks ka strategic management hai, I will score it from here. But this 40 marks might fetch you only 20 or 25 marks, and you need around 20 25 marks, sorry, you need around 30 marks, another 30 marks to score 50. I know passing is 40, but the aggregate CRVA people are not able to make uh, good marks out of it. So this is the only subject where you can score better marks, so you can score exemption, targets exemption. For that, you have to come out of this zone that I will do my SM well, and I'll manage corporate funding. What you need to do is follow the strategy I gave you for SM, that do marathon as much as possible, and daily spend 30 minutes for writing each chapter. Like by the time exam comes, even if I count 20 days, you'll be able to do 4 times writing practice. So 3 to 4 times. Okay, that will be more than enough. In 3 to 4 times, like it will be around 7 revisions, 4 to 5 marathons, 3 to 4 times writing the subheadings. You'll be able to crack it easily just by investing 1 or 2 hours daily. 1 or 2 hours daily. Okay, 2 hours at max. This 40 marks will be done. You don't need to spend if you are I have seen people spending 2 days 3 days in this particular portion, and they don't even in cash that much of output from it. Okay, so this is it for SM. As I said, I'll keep it brief. Now let's come to the main portion, which you guys take it as not main portion. Okay, in this I'm gonna take it chapter wise. Okay. Mm. So, as I said, please bring your pen and paper and note down everything I'm gonna say. Okay. Before we do this, let's see the category. Okay. What you wanna do is, you're gonna do the chapters in this sequence. First, you are going to do 8, then 12, then 14, and then 16. Once you are done with first you'll do 16 and then 14. Okay. Once you are done with these 4 chapters, you'll pick 11, 5, 17, and 7. And then you'll do 9, 10, 13, 18. Remember, when you're doing 11, 15, 17, 7, you need to revise that time this section again. Okay. Because 8, they asked for around Chapter 8, they asked for around 25 marks in June, and then December 15 marks. Okay. Why 14? 14, they asked for 15 marks and then again 18 marks. Okay. Why 12? Because earlier it was 5, but this attempt 15, and this chapter holds a good potential because this is related to topics of Companies Act. Okay. Why 16? This has a very good potential. This is basically related to foreign funding and other laws, but they have not asked. You can see that institute has not targeted chapter 12 last time, but this time it was there. So I am expecting that 16 might be there. Okay. And why I'm saying 16 you should do properly, because if 16 is targeted, you would not be able to handle it without studying it. If it's some other chapter which they are targeting, you can still manage, but not 16. Okay, because there are vast different kind of areas which they have touched in that chapter. Okay. Now let's come. I hope you have taken a screenshot or you have noted down the sequence. Now we'll go to chapter wise. Okay. So first chapter is chapter 7. I have mentioned you the categories, right? Category A, category B. Once you are done with the 4 chapters of category A and 3 chapters of category B, then only pick this chapter, because this chapter mostly has topics which are repeated. Okay. So you once, if you do it after those chapters, then you'll find most of the topics are done. Only few topics would be there which you have not done, so you can do it afterwards. Okay, please note down every key points that I'm talking about. Chapter 8, I'm not going to talk about anything important or non-important. You should do everything, because we never know what they are going to target in this. Like green shoe option, we never even expected that it will be for 15 marks, but it was there, right? So for this chapter, I would suggest that you do everything properly. Okay. Now coming to chapter 9 and 10. I would recommend one thing, that chapter 9 and 10 you should study together. The acts are basically similar, right? Okay, they are talking about delisting, they're talking about um issue. One second. Yeah. So do them together. I will be talking about few topics that I have marked as like basics. You should just skip for 9. You can also skip the definition portion. I think 9. Um, yeah, here. You can skip the definition portion, or you can just do the important ones like holding company or change in control. These kind of definitions you can do. Okay. The most important thing while you are doing this chapter, you should also prepare question for 3 marks. Okay. 3 marks. Why I'm saying, because the chapter is designed in a way that we don't know how they will ask in exam, right? So let me give you an example for it. Okay, let me give you an example which I have marked already. Uh, let's suppose this one, delisting. Okay, so managers shall apply for delisting and the designated stock exchange. If when can they do so? Only these 6 points you need to write. But if you don't remember it properly, or if you don't read it separately, you would not be able to remember all the 6 points. You're going to write whatever you are feeling out of guts. Okay, but that is not the right answer. Again, one more example. Let's say this is an example. Okay, not more than 20% of the value of the REIT asset shall be invested in asset other than as provided in clause 5. Okay, so I can frame a question regarding what are the assets where you cannot invest, right? So you should remember each one of them: government securities, unutilized FCI. What happened is basic things people write in these kind of answers, but no, not basic things are expected from you. You need to write accurate answers. So like that, I would recommend that you, while you are studying chapter 9 and 10, frame questions in your mind. Okay, like again in this question, when if we talk about this here, they are talking about vote cast in favor. So there can be a question like, what are the cases where vote cast in favors is more than vote cast against it, and we can pass the particular agenda. So you have to write down all those kind of agendas, right? This may seem non-important, but you never know how they are going to trick you in that paper. Chapter 9 and 10 should be dealt in the same way. And 9 and 10, I'm going to tell you one thing, that 9, 10, 13, 15, these 4 chapters have small topics, right? And also they have pointers kind of answers. So if you don't do it on a regular basis, you're going to forget it. Like I have got this review from June attempt as well as December, the limits exam में mix up हो जाते हैं for corporate funding specifically. Why it is happening? Because you are not revising it multiple times. है ना? Revision कैसा हो रहा है? Like let's suppose you have picked this subject or picked this chapter, you are revising it with your enthusiasm and putting everything in it, but what is missing? You are not studying it in a question answer pattern, and you are not revising it multiple times. So how can you deal with chapters like 9 10, 13, 15, make sure that you do either mnemonics or you do small notes. Like every chapter should be summed up in 2 3 pages. And what you need to do is, maybe before going to bed, or maybe early morning when you are starting with your studies, spend 10 15 minutes sometimes in chapter 9. Maybe today you did chapter 9, tomorrow you can do chapter 13. Like this, if you study, you will not even realize when you have revised these small small chapters in 10 15 minutes, and that too in that to 4 to 5 times, and with like negligible amount, right? And also there's one suggestion that I would ask, would you like me to do small revisions, like these chapters which I'm talking about, 10 15 minutes I'll no, devote to them, and we'll finish the revision for that. So like you can also have an option to revise it through audio notes or YouTube. Okay, so just drop suggestions on that if you would be willing. You would be looking forward to it. Okay, so 9 and 10 I have already discussed. Now coming to chapter 11. Sorry, it is going long, but this particular subject is something that every chapter has to be dealt in a different way, which we actually don't know. So, this is a chapter in private funding. Here, I have figured out one practical question, but before that, please do definitions from this chapter. This and chapter 10. 10, you can just go through, but this chapter definition, please do it properly. For 3 marks question, you may get one or two, one, at least one, maybe not, but high potentials. Okay, for this chapter, I would feel people will go and do investment in AIF category 1 properly, category 2 properly, category 3. And by the time you reach the other phase of the chapter, you are already exhausted. So let me highlight certain areas where you should focus, like placement memorandum. It's an easy topic. If you highlight 3 4 important points in it, you're good to go, and you can frame your sentences according to those words, highlight those words in exam, you are done. If they ask you in exam, you are getting, even if it's a 5 mark question, you are at least getting 3 marks. Okay. This one also guideline. This one I think people will neglect, and institute will love putting topics that you guys neglect. This was there in this attempt, angel investors. Okay. Okay, this was there in exam, special situation fund. So is for investment per lena, but I don't think this will come in exam. It's just highlighted it. Okay, this question, do it for practical purpose. Okay, in my test series, I have framed a question on this for practical. There is theory portion also which can be asked from here, but there could be a practical on this. Like I have framed a practical, so someone sunky person like me can do that. Okay, seed funding is important. This has been asked in question exam earlier. It is also important. Uh, these kind of topics you're going to miss, and if you miss this, you would not be able to quote exactly the right document, or the right name of the document. So these topics you should go through once. Okay, so chapter 11, one practical, which I have already shared. Chapter 12, I already said that I'm not gonna discuss anything about this because this is an important chapter. You guys are already in professional, this is expected from you. But do prepare 3 mark question, 5 mark question. Like don't skip the one liners, maybe lock-in period or administration, these kind of topic, don't skip. Okay, they can be, yeah, lock-in in sweat equity share, or anything, any small ceiling. Even ceiling is, you might skip it, and accounting treatment, I can ask you in 3 mark or 2 mark or 1 mark. This is how question pattern is. Okay. 13, they have consistently asked one question from this chapter. 13 and 15, I have talked with 8 9 that these 4 chapters you should make your small notes. Don't make notes as in like making notes. Like once you are done with revision, just do a gibberish chat form of thing which you can use for next revision. Because I've seen people spending 10 hours in making notes and then saying, oh, note making is taking too much time, ma'am. No, it should not be done like that. Once you're done with the chapter properly once, just do it in a gibberish way. Okay. Now, chapter 14, a very important chapter, but the key here is there's a lot of theory in this, but the institute is targeting practicals from this chapter. Okay, so you should not ignore theory also, because let's suppose you focused on practical from this chapter and ignores theory, and institute is like, tada, we have surprise for you. Okay, so be prepared for, but the theory is very easy. You guys have already done this in SLCM kind of paper, so you just need to, okay. Yeah, like this, just to go through tick, 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 tick. Okay, one or two topic you might find, okay, I don't know, like, yeah, this topic, online bond platform providers, do this. Okay. Anyways, do this topic. Where this you can read. Now we will actually move to practical portion of this chapter. So every time that I have mentioned that this topic will, or this portion will come in exam and practical, that had happened in June and December, both attempts. So my already in mentorship students know this. So, but those, since I don't do YouTube much, so those who were not in touch with me, they don't know this. Anyways, so I'll highlight. For me, this attempt, I'm feeling that there will be less practical, but you never know, because June attempt last time they have given you more practicals, and compared to this attempt. Okay. Anyways, this topic you can prepare for practical registration of NBFC. In this, how they will ask you a question. They might give you figures, and they will ask you whether this will fall in MFI or this will fall in factors. So you have to remember the limits. That way you can do it. Then another NBFC practical could be here. They can give you limit. You have to determine how much will go to standard assets or substandard. This is basically provisioning. Okay, if you have taken classes, if you are done with, you already know this thing, I don't need to go to detail, but I'm just telling you that this can be a practical question. Okay. Now, one thing that I'm not sure, but I have always marked this topic is factoring. The why I'm not sure, because the portion that they have given does not actually highlight practical. But since you have already cleared your executive, we suppose that you have done your for costing and FM properly. In working capital, you had this factoring thing probably. At least I remember I had, so that's why I am highlighting this. But if you don't find question, you can skip. This is the most favorite part. Institute had asked around 3 questions last attempt, previous attempt, June attempt, and I think 1 question last attempt. So this is something you cannot skip. Operating cycle calculation, turnover method, maximum Tandon committee method. Every method you have to know. Okay. How to calculate? You can take previous attempt questions, or I think if any teachers has provided, you can do it from there, or you can do it from your FM book if you have it. एक और क्वेश्चन है इस चैप्टर से, दिस वन दे हैव आस्क्ड इन लास्ट टाइम. आई टोल्ड देम, my students, to do this question, and they were like, she's saying we don't need to listen. And there was a girl who actually practices properly and scored 5 out of 5 in this question. So when you guys score, it makes us happy. So whatever we are saying, we're saying good for you. See here also they have given a question on Nayak committee. I think the similar question was there in paper also. Chapter 15, very small chapter, nothing to talk about. Chapter 16, as per pattern, not important as I already said, but potential chapter. I will definitely ask a lot of questions from there. If the setter is someone like me, oh, okay, you're gone. I love this chapter. Anyways, next chapter is chapter 17. Chapter 17, I have written, or I would want to say that do it in a way, like I told you, to do SM, like learn and write. Since this chapter is based on pointers like 13 and 15, if you don't write exact points, if you don't highlight exact point, it would be difficult to give you marks. This was the question that was asked in previous attempt. Okay, and this is a question I think if I ask you, you would not be able to attempt. So go through it, but chances are less. Go through it. I have marked few questions, but I'm not going to share this. If I share this from now onwards, you guys are not going to study properly. Okay, now 18. 18 is a chapter which is like ignored, right? And even I have heard from students that teachers say that this is not important. I don't know because I have never taken any classes, so I'm not sure what teacher is saying what. But then I have gotten a review from students that this is not important as per our teachers. Okay, so as per even institute, if I see last attempt they had no questions, previous attempt, and this attempt they have given a 5 mark question. I'll show you which one. Okay, I think this has a lot of potential to be asked in practical. So I'll just highlight 3 questions which you should do. If you do, if it comes in exams, it's good for you. If it does not, then waste your time. But yeah, if it comes, it's easy to score. Okay, so 5 marks. Just like the last question of chapter 14, it was very easy to score. Someone who did, it's like she scored 60. I was talking about, right? So that 5 marks increase your 55 to 60, correct? So that is why these easy topics should not be ignored. This is one topic, and calculation of project cost. You just need to remember these names because the institute will give you the details and you just need to put the figures and just calculate the amounts. Okay. So there's nothing much to do. Just remember what should be there and what should not be there. I think this question was there in exam. 5 mark. And I think I marked 3 practical questions from this chapter. Uh, Here, this has a potential to be asked in practical ratio analysis, where I can ask you a profitability ratio or any kind of ratio, like working capital ratio, which you did in your CS executive in ratio analysis chapter. So here they have also given debt service coverage ratio. This also can be asked in exam. IRR and payback is basically your capital budgeting. On this, they have given you a practical question also. Do that. This one. Okay, do that once if you know it. If you don't know, then don't waste your time because you would not be able to understand it in less time. Okay, but if you can, so you can do it from here. Or you can do questions from your FM book. NPB is easy, very easy. And institute will ask you easy question. This lengthy question would not be there. They would give you a small 5 mark question calculation in NPB or IRR. That would be very easy. I think agar आया भी तो NPB would be there, IRR would not be there. Or payback. NPB or payback, one of them. And last question is this one. This is also a format question where I can ask you to calculate the financial performance and financial position of the company. Okay, financial performance is basically talking about your profits. Okay, and financial position is basically talking about your balance sheet statement. Okay, so this is one format that you should do. These 3 formats you should remember that okay क्या आने वाला है क्या नहीं आने वाला है. So that way you can solve this. Sales में से your profit will be determined like that. For profit determination से depreciation sorry sorry depreciation interest will be deducted and income tax will be deducted, then you'll get your profit after tax. Okay, so these 3 formats I think will be important. That's it. And I'll again say one thing, that do chapter which I mentioned earlier as important properly, because what institute is doing is they are asking you 15 marks from a specific chapters like 8 and 12 they have already asked, and now I'm thinking either 16 would be there or it might be ret or invit. However, chances of ret or invit is like very low, but still like they can ask 2 questions from ret or invit. Uh, that's it from my side. I hope this video will help you. I'll post the scanners in Telegram channel. You can get it from there. And important questions, I'll only share this institute ka module only, which I have marked few topics, but not now. Now I need you to focus on every chapter equally. Again, already told you, SM, do it 3, 4, 5 times using audio visual memory daily. Spend half an hour to 45 minutes. Half an hour is more than enough. Half an hour to writing practice. Just practice the subheadings and topics. And for part 2, do chapter 8, 12, 16, 14, maybe 3 4 times. 3 4 times in a way, like you revise the other two times, and the first one 3 times, like that. Along with that, like you are doing part B, sorry, you are doing this category B, then you revise along with category A one chapters, maybe chapter 8 or maybe chapter 12, whichever you are feeling. Okay, I don't have a strong grip on it, right? And do it in small chunks. That will help you a lot. Like I told, for 9, 10, 13, 15, these kind of chapter, prepare 1 or 2 page or small notes, and do it from that regularly 10 15 minutes, and you'll be sorted. Don't keep subjects for a longer period. Okay, after 5 7 days you're picking a subject. No, that will become very difficult. Okay, so that's it. And also let me know if you would want chapter small revision for chapters like 9 10, small chapters which you uh, feel like, okay, अगर कोई 10 15 minutes में revise करवा देगा, तो it would be great for us. Okay, thank you so much for being here. Please share this video with others also, so if you find it helpful. Okay, so others can also get benefit out of it. Anyways, thank you.